Flim and Trixie Lulamoon, A True Love by Swedish W. Ever since Flim and Flam took over the hotel in Las Pegasus, they have made the hotel running just with a great success. But one day, Flim decided that he wanted to do something else, and since they're running this hotel non-stop without any break for most, Flim has overworked so well and over so much over the last few months. And with his brother have noticed also that the Flim had worked so much. He actually almost burned out of as much of the work. Flam told Flim to get a vacation, but Flim said he couldn't leave the hotel by his own brother. But Flam told him and assured him that he can take care of the hotel while Flim took his vacation. Flim would not actually want to take any vacation, but after he realized his brother was right, he has been working so well, so much over the past few months, and he really deserves some break. But he asked his brother where could he go for vacation, and Flam actually thought that Flim could go to see Twilight, since over the past few weeks, they have been writing letters to each other back and forward, so became friends. So Flim decided to go to Ponyville to visit Twilight and her friends. At first, when he arrived, he didn't exactly where to find Twilight, but then he asked another mare if she knows where Twilight lives, and it was actually Trixie Lulamoon, and she explained and pointed right to the big castle right on the street, and he thanked her and went. Trixie was just standing there looking at Flim. She had actually never seen him before. After that, at the same moment, Starlight appeared, and she saw that Trixie was looking at some pony, and she saw it was actually Flim. She asked Trixie why Flim was in town, and since Trixie said that she didn't know who that was, so Starlight explained to Trixie what she knows about Flim and his brother. Apparently, Trixie had never heard about them. Even she had been traveling around the entire Equestria, but never been heard of those two brothers. Starlight and Trixie spent the most of the day talking to each other at the cafe and later in her wagon. But during the same time, Flim was actually spending some time with Twilight, talking, just getting to know him better and also trying to relax. But he couldn't. But Twilight informed him that he could take tomorrow, the next day, to take something with him to eat and go to the lake just to relax. At first he didn't want to do that because he likes to do work. But he realized if he works too well and too much, it will make it worse for him. Twilight told him, if you don't take breaks, you will end up in the hospital if you don't take a break. And Flim then understands and realized he had to take a break. So the next day, he actually took a small bag and went to the local lake. At first, he didn't know exactly what to do, so he sat there under a tree and just didn't do nothing. This was the first time he had a vacation in just 5 years. But during his first vacation 5 years ago, he didn't do anything at all except trying to help other opponents in business. Even he wanted to do some business even on this vacation, but he had promised his brother and Twilight to relax. So he did. While he was just sitting there, it was getting kind of warm, so he decided to take a swim in the lake just to cool off. And it worked. And after he came back up from the beach, he decided to eat something. At the right moment, he actually heard a noise right behind the tree. What did exactly what it was? But then he listened. It was actually someone with some pony snoring. Apparently, some pony had walked up to that same place and fallen asleep behind a tree. He looked carefully around and saw it was Trixie. He had learned from Twilight who the pony that he met the day earlier, and she actually woke up seeing him staring at her. And he said sorry that he woke her up, but she said that she couldn't even sleep so well because it was so warm and that she was hungry. And then he offered her some his food, and she was surprised at hearing that he was willing to share some of his food. But he was actually wanted to share it. And during what they sit there, they first didn't say much, except that Twilight had told him about Trixie, about the past, but still, she actually started to enjoy his company. Trixie told Flynn that she had heard a lot about him and his brother, and recently that they had taken over a hotel in Las Vegas. She explained that her father was working in Las Vegas, and Flynn was thinking who that could be. And she explained that he was a blue stallion with the same type and also musician. He was doing magic show there. And then Flynn understands and realizes who she means. And he told her that he actually talked to him. And he's still there doing some performance every once in a while. And even after this day, Trixie went back to Ponyville with Flame as company. Trixie saw Starlight in the nearby the castle talking to Spike, and Flame then asked if Trixie maybe wanted to go out with him. And since she was actually quite fun, very enjoyable company, and she was smiling and said yes. So Flame went back into the castle, and Starlight asked Trixie what they were talking about, and she was surprised that Trixie had been asked out by Flim, and that she said yes. And the next day, Flame took with Trixie to the local cafe first, and later on to this dance club, and they had a blasting time. Trixie had no idea how well dancer Flame were, and even Flame was very surprised that Trixie was not so bad at dancing as well. She explained to him that she had taken some dance classes when she was just a filly, and Flame told Trixie that he used to take some classes as well, only for about 2 years, but he is still teaching himself to dance over on his spare time. And she was impressed. And Trixie had a very great time with Flynn that day. And just that, after this week had passed, Trixie felt sad when Flynn told her that he was going back to his Pegasus. She was very surprised that he was going to leave so soon, but he told her that he would be back as soon as possible. And in fact, he didn't. But instead for he to come there, he actually invited Trixie and Starlight to Las Pegasus. And both of them had been booked a room, which they had already been paid for by Flim, and the food was also already been paid for a whole week. Trixie and Flim spent a lot of time in there together in Las Vegas, even though he was supposed to be working. Trixie even spent some time with her father, which she hasn't seen at least about 2 years. Trixie and Flim had spent so much time together at the Las Pegasus, even they seems to be almost like the opposite type of characters. They still had the same great time together. But then she had to move back home to Ponyville, and Starlight thanked for this small time vacation, and they both agreed that they will be back soon when they can. And over for the past few weeks after that, Flim and Trixie had written letters to back and forward. And just then, after only 2 months after their first meeting, they were dating. At first, Twilight and her friends were a little bit surprised that Trixie had fallen in love with Flim. But even Flam was very happy for his brother to have something else to focus rather than business. Even though Flim was sometimes could even focus on his work, that some happens that there were some mistakes, but he always fixed his problems. At first, Flam was a little bit ignoring that he couldn't even focus on this work. He was afraid that they were losing their profits, meaning that they would lose the hotel. But Flim ensured Flam that he would handle his problems and make sure that the hotel will survive. And in fact, it did. Flam was actually very impressed that even for the first time after he met Trixie. He thought that Trixie were only using Flim for profits, to gain to his money. But she wouldn't. In fact, she told Flam that she'd rather be poor than rich to be with Flim. Because Flim enriches her life. Because her love for Flim is more worth than any money in the entire Equestria. And Flim was very surprised to hearing that. And he thought that Trixie would even love him only because of his money. But she didn't. And that made their relationship even stronger over the past few weeks after. Even they had a couple of small fights over time, but they had no such major fights. They always find out, always solved their problems, and always worked out their differences. Even Trixie's father was surprised that she was actually dating one of the owners of the hotel that he worked. But he was actually happy to see that his own daughter was happy. And Flim was considered as his son-in-law. And in fact, Flim actually proposed to Trixie at Las Pegasus only after 5 years. Trixie couldn't say no at all because she loved him so deeply. And the wedding was actually held in Ponyville. She had been asked Twilight to perform the ceremony, and Flam became the Flim's best man and Starlight as Trixie's bridesmaids. And afterwards, they actually didn't celebrate the honeymoon at Las Pegasus because of that Flam was working there. So they actually went to Crystal Empire for 3 whole weeks. And just barely 5 years later, Trixie told Flim they were going to be parents to twin daughters. And Flim was very surprised. And later on, when they had their daughters, both of them showed the great talent in magic, and especially in show business. And just 2 years after the twins were born, they had another child, a son. He also became very talented in magic, but he performed mostly in to help others. And that's how Trixie Lulamoon and Flim found their true love and got a big family. The end.